Hey guys, I'm back with a new video. What if Naruto was Sakuna's vessel? Before we start, I need some wind style and lightning style jutsu. I have 4 currently. I need 2 more lightning style and 3 more wind style. If you could help me, that would be great. So let's start this off. We're gonna start this off seeing Kushina. A few things should be said before we start as well. Minato will not be Naruto's dad. It'll be, I'm gonna say Madara Uchiha. Yeah, Madara will be his dad. But Madara and I'm gonna say Madara and Mito. Yeah. Alright, because that'll work. Madara and Mito will be his parents, as Naruto was born from Mito. This was well, before the fight with Hashirama and Madara. Well, we know she was not she wasn't faithful to the first Hokage, Hashirama, as I'm gonna say, to stop Hashirama from hurting Naruto, she makes a seal that seals Naruto away for, I'm gonna say that each Hokage, I'm gonna say first and second lived up to 50 years, each, because they both died in the war. I'm gonna say that he lived up to the time when the Sannin, he stayed in the seal up until the Sannin were being trained. Actually, no, when the Sannin were born, that's when he came out of the seal. I'm gonna say that they were still alive currently, and also Naruto got Kurama sealed inside of him instead of Kushina, because Mito thought who best but her own son to hold the demon back. So he came out of the seal. I'm gonna say he's on top of the Hokage monument. Hashirama and Tobirama are still alive currently, but not for long because, Second Great Shinobi War is about to start. Well, not about to start, but it's gonna start in a while. It's been like 20 years, no, 30 years since Madara was declared dead. And you know what? No, it's been 10 years since Madara had been declared dead. I'm gonna say they were 30 when they fought. And Mito thought that Naruto wouldn't come out of the seal until at least when Minato was Hokage. She didn't account for this, so he came out of the seal, as we see Madara coming up to Naruto, as he picks Naruto up because he knows about his son. He picks Naruto up and says, "You're not supposed to be out of the seal yet." As he walks to Kushina, he goes to Kushina, not Kushina, Mito. He goes to Mito, as Mito's, she's not as young as she used to be, and Madara is also not as young as he used to be, but they need to make a new seal for Naruto. But while Madara was taking Naruto to Mito, as he got into the house where Mito was, he explained to Mito what happened, and in that Naruto came out of the seal early. So she's starting to work on a new seal, but Hashirama comes into the house as he walks through the door where Mito's room is, and he sees Naruto. Naruto has the same pinkish like hair as Sakuna does, and the black marks are all around his body with the eyes on the bottom of his eyes. As she's trying to make the seal, and when Hashirama sees the child, he says, "Whose child is that?" As he starts to get mad, and he starts yelling at Mito, demanding to know whose child that is. As Mito messes up and says that it's Madara's child. As Hashirama got so mad, he set a wooden spear at Naruto. As I'm gonna say that Madara came out of nowhere, destroyed the spear, and used an ability that he was hoping to keep secret, which was I'm gonna say he used Shishui's ability. It was called Koto Masakami. It was Madara can only use it twice every year, and Shishui could only use it once a year. So I'm gonna say he has that ability in this one. He uses it to erase the memory of Hashirama ever seeing him and Naruto. But I'm gonna say that the wood was like, you know how poison ivy can be poisonous, well, give you a rash or something, right? I'm gonna say his wood was poisonous, and I'm gonna say it hit Mito, as that's gonna be she's gonna get a sickness. That's why she's gonna die early in this one, instead of having the longevity of the Uzumaki. So that's why she doesn't live up until Minato with Hokage. So the first Hokage goes back to the Hokage's monument, and he just does more paperwork, just oblivious of what happened. I'm gonna say a year after this that he retired and Togurama became the Hokage. As they finished the seal, but Madara put more of his chakra into it because he thinks that the reason it got broken was because the Kyuubi. So he pumps more chakra into the seal that's holding Naruto, and he put some of Hashirama's chakra in it as well. So all three basically godly shinobi put a piece of their chakra into it. I'm talking about a large piece, 1/4 type piece. As he got sealed in the Hokage's monument again, but this time the seal was different because Mito didn't think that just their chakra alone would be enough to hold back the Kyuubi's power. She decided to make it to where the seal would absorb nature chakra, and she thought it would just hold the seal together, but it would also affect Naruto. And this is how he's gonna get half the abilities he has currently. So we time skip to the night of the same night the Kyuubi attack would have happened, Naruto's birthday, but that didn't happen this time. Instead, Naruto was taken out of the seal, and the huge chakra presence was sensed in Konoha, as Minato was the first one over there, but I'm gonna say Obito felt it too, and in this one he's gonna be a bit stronger with the ability of his Kamui ability, but he's gonna be a bit more unpredictable than to just show it the first chance that he gets. And he grabs Naruto as Minato was about to jump at Obito, but he doesn't know who the masked ninja is currently. as Obito tries to run with with Naruto, but Minato jumped at Toby, but he didn't know Zetsu was there, as Zetsu impaled him through the chest with a wood spear. But the rest of Konoha and Sarutobi and the others all came as Obito was forced to leave Naruto, and he left the village again. He was thinking that would have been a very powerful, subordinate for him. I'm gonna say nobody's seen nobody's seen the Nine Tails for years, ever since Mito, but they still won the first, second, and third Great Shinobi Wars without the Nine Tails. So that just shows Konoha strong without their Jinchuriki. And I'm gonna say when Sarutobi went over to Naruto, he saw all the marks on Naruto. He thought they were tattoos or like clan marks, something like that. But then he saw the eyes. I'm gonna say the eyes were the same eyes, but this time they had red slitted pupils. So he thinks that this is the Jinchuriki, but he sees the seal around him, and it was a gigantic seal. He says the only person with the power to seal someone like this and the Kyuubi was Mito, because she was the last one to have Kurama. As this matter gets taken to the council, and everybody talks about it. Danzo thinks that he should be made into a weapon, but Sarutobi disagrees, and Danzo leaks a secret about Naruto being, the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, and that's why he has the red slitted eyes on his face. As I'm gonna say, he does have 4 arms, but they can be retracted, and they can go back to his body. So currently, he doesn't have 4 arms because they just wouldn't trust him even more. Then they'd probably kill him if they found out that he had 4 arms. They would really think he was a demon. So we're gonna time skip about 5 years. 5 years. Naruto's not in the academy yet, but hold on one second. Alright, Naruto's not in the academy yet, but we see him in training ground. I forgot what training ground it was called. I think it was training ground 44, but we see him in the Forest of Death, and Naruto's being chased by, I'm gonna say, a giant centipede. Why not? As he starts to get scared that he's gonna die here, as he, for some reason, turns around and this red aura envelops him, and he jumps at the centipede using an ability he didn't know what it was called, but I'll tell you what it's called just for the sake of the story. He used Cleave on the centipede. Cleave is a slashing attack for for opponents and enemies, and Decimate is the slashing attack for inanimate objects, like non-living objects. So he used Cleave on the centipede. The red aura is the Nine Tails chakra, and Sakuna uses some of his power to use Cleave on him. As Naruto, he passes out, and he wakes up in his mindscape. He sees a giant gate, but in front of the giant gate, he sees a pile of skulls and this man sitting on top of it. As he's sitting in a Sakuna sitting in a pose where he's looking at Naruto like he's nothing compared to him. As Kurama opened his red eyes in the background, it obviously looked like they were planning this for a while. As he opened his red eyes. Sorry, hold on one second, please. Alright, I'm back. So, yeah, it looked like they've been planning this for a while. So Kurama smiles a foxy grin, and Naruto is so scared he falls down to his knees because of all the bone skeletons that he's seeing, and this man just sitting on top of him, sitting in a throne of bones, as there's giant red eyes in the background with a giant foxy grin, as they start as Kurama and Sakuna start laughing like maniacs, as they say, "Gotcha, kid. You really fell for that." They were so amused that he actually fell to his knees. As I'm gonna say, Kurama and Sakuna became friends after I'm gonna say over 100 years being together. At first, Sakuna didn't like Kurama, and Kurama didn't like Sakuna because, well, Sakuna has a superiority complex. And I'm gonna say in this one, Madara never used. Actually, yeah, Naruto was born before they fought, so Madara never used Kurama, and Kurama, he still don't like humanity. Well, but not as bad as he did before. So they start yelling, laughing out loud like that, as Naruto yells, "What's so funny?" As they say, you're funny. The fact that you actually fell for that. We've been playing that for years. As Naruto's confused, and I'm gonna say after 15 minutes, Naruto stands back up and glares at both of them and says, "Stop laughing," in a deep voice that scared both Sakuna and Kurama. I'm gonna say Sakuna became having less of a superiority complex, as he seeing a kid giving him a glare that I'm gonna say it, a glare that he would be proud of, I guess. It really shocked him to the core, and Kurama seeing a glare that he would also be proud of. They both got a little scared of that, as they said, "What's wrong with you?" As he said, "Stop laughing at me," and they say, "Fine, we'll stop laughing at you if you stop being scared." As he says, "Fine, I'll try and control my emotions, and next time I come back here, you two will be scared of me." As they start laughing and say, "Yeah, well, good luck, kid." As he says, "Fine, but I don't know how to control my emotions." As at that time, I'm gonna say he got waken up at the hospital, and well, not at the hospital. He woke up in the forest. And he got up. He heard a sound in the bushes, but he didn't think it would care all that much. As Danzo walks out of the bushes and looks at Naruto and says, "I can train you as long as you become a weapon for Konoha," because he wants his full trust and he wants Naruto to know what he's getting into. As I'm gonna say, Danzo's less of a less of an asshole in this one. I can't really say it though. Anyway, Danzo looks at Naruto and says that as Naruto thinks about it, and he says, "Can you teach me to control my emotions?" As Danzo is surprised that a kid his age will want to learn how to control his emotions already, as that was going to be a part of his training, but not as soon as it started. As Danzo smiles, going back to the Danzo of canon, and says, "Of course I can. I can teach you to control your emotions and become one of the strongest ninja in Konoha." As Naruto says, "Fine, you can teach me." As for, I'm going to say, he says, next week, come back here, and I'll take you to my secret place. Don't tell anyone about this, including the Hokage, understand? As Naruto nods his head yes, as he went back to his home. For the past, week, he's been, getting bullied. Well, not bullied. He's been getting, hit and hurt more, so much more. He's been getting beaten to pulp and to a bloody mess. As every day that week it happened, because that was the week of his birthday. And I'm going to say it's, instead of the one day and most Wittish like it is, it's a week-long festival as they torment Naruto all week long, as he starts to gain hatred for the villagers, but he knows he has to protect them because that's the duty of a shinobi. As he goes back to the Forest of Death, and he sees Danzo waiting with a bunch of masked people behind him. As Danzo looks at him and says, "Are you ready to get started?" As Naruto nods his head yes, as he gets knocked out, and he wakes up in a dark room where he is chained to a chair, and he sees an Abu. He's sitting behind a one-way glass when in a torture and interrogation department Abu, in Root Abu, as he is witnessing several different torturing techniques and seeing people get tortured and killed. The first time he saw somebody getting tortured and killed, he started to cry. But Danzo started telling him, "This is the life of a shinobi. You must kill to protect your village." As Naruto says yes, as Danzo says, "I will teach you how to control your emotions as long as you accept this training." As Naruto nods say yes, as I'm going to say 5,000. He witnessed 5,000 different tortures and killings, and he finally was an emotionless husk, but he had the ability to turn his emotions on and off. So when he's around his friends, he can have his emotions on, but when he's in a battleground, he'll be as vicious as let's say Akka and Orochimaru, if you understand. As Naruto starts to get trained in several different martial arts, and he gets trained in different jutsu, wind style, lightning style, and fire style. Once they found out that was his chakra natures, they thought that he might have been a Uchiha, but Danzo said, "What's the luck of that?" And I'm gonna say one day Naruto's about to be killed by a shinobi that has a sword, kenjutsu. They use kenjutsu, and he is about to be impaled through the heart. As before that happens, a 2-tomoe Sharingan appears in his left eye, and a 3-tomoe appears in his right, as he dodges the sword and he impales the Root Abu agent with an ability like Killua's, his assassination type hand. You know how it tenses all his muscles in his arm, in his hand. And I'm sorry for the background noise if you hear my little brother and some of my family is over. Sorry, I can't do anything about that. But he kills the Root Abu. It's not the first time he's killed at least a couple hundred times to save his life. but this is the first time he almost, well, got killed. As Naruto watching this spar, he starts to smile a wicked grin, and he starts to put Naruto through more and more tortures, and he started having Naruto get tortured himself to see if he would leak information or not. He was given a scroll. He was told to memorize the scroll, and I'm gonna say an Anbu with about the same level as Ibiki in torture interrogation started torturing Naruto to get the answers out of him. Every time he were to reveal a secret, he would be shocked with electricity for 24 hours, I'm going to say, without stop. Afterwards, he would just eat, sleep, and then go back to torture. This is how his life was up until, I'm going to say, actually, also, he learned Kenjutsu while he was there with a katana. But this was his life up until, I'm going to say, he was 5 when he met Danzo. He was 6 when he started his training. And I'm going to say, until he was 11, I'm going to say that the academy gets put out as soon as you're, I'm going to say 15, because it never made sense that they would put them out into a shinobi world that early, unprepared. As I'm going to say the academy starts at 10, and he's currently, he's currently 10, as the academy is about to start. But before the academy starts, I'm going to say 2 years before the academy starts, Saratobi's been gathering information on Danzo, and he's been using his crystal ball to spy on Naruto, seeing Naruto going into Anbu headquarters, well, an old Anbu headquarters that Saratobi thought wasn't used anymore. He's been spying out there for the last 2 years. He knows how much training Naruto's going through, but he can only really see the torture parts because any training areas are reinforced with seals that don't allow much spying from his crystal ball, and Saratobi could go into the headquarters without getting caught, but I'm going to say there's a chakra seal that scans chakra of all the root Anbu that come in and out of the base, so there's not much you can do about it. As he's been gathering his forces for the past few months to launch an all-out siege on Danzo's base. As when this happens, Danzo wasn't prepared for it because he didn't think this would happen so soon. As Danzo runs into Naruto's room and says, "It's time for you to be a use to this village." As I'm going to say the Uchiha massacre already happened. He has all the eyes of Shisui and other Uchiha. He tells Naruto to go fight the Hokage, as Naruto says no. And Danzo is confused on why he would say that and says, "You're supposed to help the village." As Naruto says, "The Hokage is the leader of the village. You are just my superior." As at this time, Naruto is stronger than Danzo. But Danzo thinks that he's stronger because Danzo didn't know about the training that Naruto did by himself to learn different sword techniques and fighting styles. As Danzo says, "You will listen to what I say." As Naruto runs at Danzo with guy level speed with his weights on and cuts off Danzo's head, as Danzo wasn't prepared, but he used Izanagi and appeared behind Naruto as he tried to kill Naruto using a witch style jutsu. And Naruto turns around and uses a fire style jutsu, being enhanced by the wind. It burned his body. I'm gonna say he used fire release, great fire. Well, no, he used fire release. Uh, what should he use? I'm gonna say he used fire release, great fireball technique, C rank jutsu. It's short range, so since he was right behind him, it worked. And Naruto was surprised at how much damage it did because he was practicing by seeing Uchiha do it once, and he scanned it to see how it worked. But he trained it by himself. He didn't completely copy it. He just see how it works and how much chakra to flow into your lungs before expelling it from your body. And he got it done perfectly the first time he tried it, so he was obviously very happy. But he didn't show it on his face because of his emotion training. As Danzo uses Izanagi again, but he thinks that he can't use up all his Izanagis as he disappeared from the room using the leaf side. I can never pronounce this correctly. He used body flicker from to get out of the room as Naruto got off guard and he walks out of his room to see Saratobi and the other Abu taking the root base by siege. As Saratobi walked up to Naruto and asked him if he's okay, and Naruto says he's fine in an emotionless voice, and Saratobi is sad that his grandson would become emotionless like this, as after the base got destroyed, Naruto was asked to give a full report on Root and everyone else, as Naruto's been on several missions for Root and several missions for Danzo specifically, whether it be to assassinate a daimyo or to just kill a shinobi. He was sent to do a lot of different missions. I'm going to say he has 5 S rank, 10 A rank, 20 B rank, 50 C rank, and 1000 D rank. Why not? That's how much he has. As he is told to give information on Danzo and what happened, as he tells Saratobi about how Danzo ordered the Uchiha massacre and how Shisui and that he took Shishui's eyes and multiple other Uchiha eyes and asked Orochimaru to implant them into his body, explaining the Hashirama cells inside his body. Saratobi decides to put Danzo in the Bingo book as an S-rank threat. He puts him in the Bingo book as an S-rank threat because of all the enhancement he had on his body, and Naruto was sent to an apartment that Saratobi had bought. A new apartment that Saratobi had bought him because while he was being trained by Root, I'm going to say the villagers destroyed the apartment he was currently staying in. And this apartment was, well, let's just say, not the brightest place to be. I gotta say it was in the red light district of Konoha, but deep in the red light district of Konoha, where as Naruto opens his door to see a pretty big apartment, not that big, but pretty big. As he walks through the apartment, looks at everything, he sees a training room, a bedroom, one training room. He sees one bathroom that's connected to the bedroom. He sees a pretty decent kitchen. Um, he sees a weapon. He sees a place where he can put his weapons. As he decides to, before he puts anything in the house, he makes a ton of seals. Like, I'm talking chakra detection. Hold on 1 second, please. Alright, I'm back. He uses a chakra seal that could destroy so much chakra if they touch his armory. I'm gonna say the only reason this seal isn't used, he didn't put this seal on his weapons, and the only reason I need to do this is because it would completely break the entire anime. Naruto is the only one that knows this seal, and it's way too big to put on anything else. As he puts it around the entire armory, it fades into the wood. If anybody but him touches the armory, or anybody he allows to touch the armory, touches the armory, it'll destroy their chakra system. Eventually, will just killing them. He put up sound barriers around his apartment. He also puts up blood seals to enter the apartment and open all the doors, and chakra detection seals to detect if it's his chakra so he doesn't have to keep wiping his blood on it all the time. Also, he puts a special seal on the training area to where if he wants, it could be like the training area Vegeta used and increase the weight in the training area. But the training area itself would be fine. Naruto himself would just be rooted to the floor, and he could change the pressure on what he wants. He also puts a seal on the front door if you touch the doorknob without his permission, or if you're knocking on the door, that's fine, but if you just touch the doorknob and try to open it, it'll burn the hand of whoever did it, and it'll leave like the shape of a doorknob on their hand. And I'm gonna say that's all the seals he puts for now. As you can tell, he's a fully jutsu master. So Naruto, he starts practicing on his sword style, but he wished he had his own sword. As he passed out just when he said that, as he got brought back into the mindscape where he was when he was 5 years ago, he sees Kurama and Sakuna and basically the same pose as last time. Just Kurama's eyes were his pupils were a bit more slit-like, and they were both sending massive amount of bloodlust at him. As Naruto looked at them with a dead expression and says, "I told you the next time I come here I wouldn't be scared of you." As they both looked at him in shock, as he said, "You're not that strong." As Naruto says, "Really? Let's find out." And Sakuna beats Naruto to a bloody pulp, just absolutely destroying Naruto with ease. As he says, "Fine, I'm not that strong, but still." Hold on 1 second, please. Alright, sorry, that's my little brother. He keeps losing stuff, needed help to find it. Alright, Naruto proceeds to get whipped by, just whooped, absolutely Black Air Force energy personified Sakuna. And Sakuna just destroyed Naruto with ease, and Naruto is just sitting there and says, "Why'd you bring me in here in the first place?" And Sakuna said, "Oh yeah," and he pulls out a sword from I'm gonna say the middle of his hand, and gave it to Naruto and said, "This sword is a one hit kill sword." And he explains the sword to Naruto. Basically, it's the sword that Akami has. I can't pronounce the name for the life of me, but you know what it is. It's the one. It's the red one that Akami from Akami ga Kill has. It's a one kill sword that, well, and its name, kills with one hit, one cut, one hit. All it takes, and that person will die. And Naruto is amazed at this, but before he gave it to Naruto, he said there's also an ultimate ability with it that allows you to, well, basically cut yourself. And Naruto looks at Sakuna and said, "What, are you trying to kill me?" As he says, "No, if you cut yourself, if the sword accepts you and you cut yourself, you have to embrace your inner demon, basically us, and it'll give you a massive power up. As you probably won't need it all too much, unless you were fighting like another Biju or something. But when would you ever do that?" As Kurama and Sakuna start to laugh, as Naruto says, "I guess," as the irony in that statement is going to be immaculate later. As I'm going to make this an hour. As Naruto takes the sword, and if the sword didn't accept him, it would kill him as soon as he touched it. But he was able to hold the sword and hold it still. I'm going to say the only reason he could really do this is because of his mother Mito. Madara and Hashirama all pumping his chakra, along with Naruto being infused with nature chakra, and Sakuna infusing his energy into Naruto, as well as Kurama slowly feeding his energy to Naruto all over the span of while he was in the seal. He's easily able to hold the sword. Someone with that much chakra and curse energy could hold the seal easily. I'm going to say his curse energy is just going to be turned to chakra in this one. His curse techniques are, I'm just going to call them by their name. I'm not going to say like him using hand signs or anything. But yeah, that's what's going to happen with the curse techniques in this one. So Naruto looks at Sakuna and says thank you. And before he leaves the mind stage, Kurama says, "Hey, Brett." And Naruto looks at him and says, "Yeah, what?" As Kurama, he takes one of his tails, and pulls out a scroll and gives it to Naruto. I'm going to say that actually he takes two scrolls out and gives them to Naruto. As one scroll says Uzumaki techniques, as the other says Dragon Summon. As Naruto looks at them and says, "What are these?" He's obviously heard of the three Sanin, Orochimaru, Tsunade, and Jiraiya, all with the toad, snail, and snake summon. As he never heard of the Dragon Summon, as he says these were both techniques that your mother used, of course, but you don't know her. She was Uzumaki, as he starts kind of explaining Mito to him. But Naruto doesn't know who this person is, and he says, "Do you know her name? Maybe I can look her up in the library." As he says, "I know her name, but I kind of want you to be a Chunin before that happens, and I want you to be able to injure me at all." As Naruto looks at Kurama with a determined stare, and he says, "All right, I'll do whatever it takes to learn who my parents are. As he then leaves the mindscape with the summoning scroll and the Uzumaki technique scroll, as he came back into his apartment and he sees the summon scroll with the summoning contract for dragons, saying only summon us if you are strong enough. If not, you will die. And after seeing how easily he got beat by Sakuna wasn't even trying. He had three of his hands behind his back. He was using one finger, like Tsunade was gonna do, but he used one finger on Naruto and destroyed Naruto easily with one finger. No legs, not three of his arms. One finger, he beat Naruto. And he said, I'm not going to sign this until he has to use at least one of his fists on me. As Naruto from there did non-stop training, he learned the Uzumaki sword style, which was the red whirlpool style, and he learned their taijutsu style, which I need a name for. Can you please tell me a name for it? I'll tell you who told me the name if you tell me a good name for it. But if not, I'll just have to come up with one and tell you next time. But Naruto learned Uzumaki's sword style and their taijutsu style, along with one wind style, one lightning style, and one fire style, which he thought wouldn't be in there, which was surprising when he saw it because it took him about a half a year to master it. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, obviously. Well, maybe I'll tell you in the tuning exams. Actually, maybe I'll tell you soon with the wave arc. But Naruto is obviously getting very overpowered, as Naruto has gotten to the point where Sakuna has used two of his fingers on Naruto, but he's currently going to the academy. Well, technically he's not going. He's seeing a shadow clone there in his place, so he doesn't have to go to the academy, but he can train as much as he wants. Naruto in the academy was very quiet, reserved. He doesn't really talk to nobody. He doesn't get close to anyone. So everybody just thought he was just weird, like Shino. But Shino actually was friends with Shikamaru and Choji. And he didn't talk all that much, but he did talk sometimes. Naruto, he never talked. Since the day he was put in, since the day they graduated, which is going to be now, we see Naruto entering the class on graduation day. This is the real Naruto, not just the Naruto from the regular shadow clone that he sends, but this is Naruto in the flesh. He came into the academy. He's seen the academy several times through the memories of his shadow clones, but this is the first time him being there in person. As he looks around and he goes to a seat in the back left of the corner of the classroom. He's not even friends with Iruka in this one. He's really, his only friend is the third Hokage, but he hasn't talked to the third Hokage for a little while. I'm gonna say it's been like a month, maybe two, since he's talked to the third. But Naruto, he just sits there waiting for his test to come. As Mizuki glares at Naruto's clone every day, and during the graduation, he glares at Naruto. I'm gonna say Naruto got like enough points to pass within the top 10, but not be the number one, which he could easily be. But he knows that the element surprise is the best tool for Shinobi. as Naruto, he does the ring portion. He sees there's a genjutsu of the questions to make him choose a different one. He breaks the genjutsu and he puts the right answers, and he puts his own genjutsu over it to the point if somebody else tries to put a genjutsu over it, they'll be putting a genjutsu that'll make them pee their pants. It'll basically show them their worst nightmares and show their worst nightmares killing the people that they love and cherish, and what they're watching their worst nightmares kill them over and over again, and then just seeing their own death be played out several times. Mizuki tried this, and the same thing happened to him. As Naruto smiled, and he went outside for the combat portion. Since Iruka thought Mizuki just passed out, he became the proctor for the combat portion. Now, in the combat portion, Naruto didn't really want to hold back at the end, so he decimated Iruka since he went last. And after that, it was the 1v1 battles. Everyone went up each other. I'm gonna say in this one, uh, Sakura went against Sasuke, as Sasuke he destroyed Sakura, and Naruto went against Kiba, as Kiba said, Naruto, I hope this is a good fight, but I don't think you're gonna win, as he says, you never really were good in the class. So, hold on one second. He says you never really were good in the class at taijutsu, ninjutsu, and anything else. As everybody starts to laugh at Naruto, but Naruto doesn't pay any mind to this, as he stays still. As Iruka sees this, he sees that Naruto looks like he has trained for years, as he's kind of scared to start the match because of this. But he starts the match anyway, as Kiba says he doesn't need Akamaru to beat Naruto, so he runs at Naruto blindly. Didn't think Naruto would be able to dodge him, as Naruto grabbed his forearm, pulled him in, and connected a knee right into his face, as Kiba fell back, not expecting that, and having a broken nose, as he jumped away and got back up, as he uses Gyatsuga. 1 second, please. He uses Gyatsuga, but with just him, not Akamaru, as he goes towards Naruto and says, "Give up, you're not going to be able to beat this." As he gets closer to Naruto, and as soon as Kiba gets in the range for Naruto to grab, an arm's length of Naruto, Naruto grabs Kiba by the hair even while he's in Gyatsuga and starts spinning him around in a circle. And he pulls a Hulk and Loki. You know how Hulk hit Loki against the ground back and forth. He did that to Kiba, breaking a few of Kiba's ribs and hurting his spine. As it's nothing that can't be healed with a medical ninja, but it still hurts bad. So Kiba says, "Akamaru, eat the pill." As he throws it at Akamaru, he eats it. As he uses Mean Man Beast clone and turns Akamaru into a version of Kiba, and he uses Fang over Fang, as they both go at Naruto, and Naruto says, "You should give up, Kiba. You won't like it when you lose. Well, you won't like it when you lose, by me at least." As this is the first time everyone's ever heard Naruto's talk, as Everyone was surprised, and they didn't see Naruto run into both run toward both Kiba and Akamaru, and grabbing Kiba's arm and grabbing Akamaru's leg, throwing them into the sky, him jumping. He axe kicked both of them right back to the ground. Basically, he used Uzumaki Barrage, but he didn't yell it out this time. He just started doing the punches, kicks. Anyway, while they were going back to the ground, he summoned two clones to kick them both back up into the sky. He kicked them both back up as he uses fire style fireball jutsu and singes both of them. And as Iruka's about to call the match, two clones from Naruto uppercutted both of them as soon as they were falling and hit them out of the ring. As he said, this match is over. As he says, Naruto won. As Iruka calls the school nurse, which is a medic nin, to heal Kiba, and Kiba is not in the best of shape. I'm gonna say Kiba currently is bleeding all on his entire body. He's burnt. He has 3 broken ribs. He has some internal bleeding. His spine is a bit fractured, but it could be healed thanks to medical ninjutsu. And I'm going to say his arm almost got blown off. As Iruka says, Naruto, you went too far. As Naruto looked at Iruka and then walked away. As Iruka said, I am your sensei, and you will stay and listen to me. And Naruto turns back around and looks at Iruka and says, no, you just need to run the test, and I need to pass. That's your only job. As he walks away from Iruka, everyone's surprised that he would talk to Iruka that way. Iruka is really mad being talked to like that, and being told that he's nothing but a test proctor. He thinks that he's gonna try and he doesn't think Naruto is gonna be able to do some of the jutsu because he never really paid attention to the classroom. So they did the jutsu portion of the test, and Naruto, he called Naruto Uzumaki, and everybody's laughing because they don't think Naruto is going to be able to use substitution or the transformation jutsu, because he never really tried in the class and he never listened. So everybody's laughing, thinking he's going to fail. They did see him use the clone jutsu though, so they didn't think that he would fail on the clone jutsu. As I'm going to say, Hinata didn't wish Naruto good luck or anything like that, because in this one, Naruto did save Hinata. Oh yeah, what a shocker. I wonder who the ship is. I wonder. And Naruto just passes by everyone, goes to the front of the class, and Iruka tells Naruto to use the transformation jutsu. As Naruto uses the transformation jutsu, but he turns into the third Hokage, and he looks at Iruka and says, I hope the jury exams are going well, Iruka. As Iruka stiffened, and he wasn't not expecting him to turn into the third Hokage at all. He wasn't even expecting him to be able to use the transformation at all. But the fact that he was able to just showed and be able to do it convincingly to scare Iruka. But then he realized it was just him using the hinge to transform into the third Hokage. as he says, "Very good, Naruto." As Naruto does the hinge, he says, "Do the clone jutsu." As Naruto makes 5 solid clones, as Iruka throws a kunai at one of them, it catches the kunai and throws it back at Iruka. Iruka catches it and put it back in his pouch and says, "They're solid clones. Where'd you learn this?" As he says, "Don't worry about it." As this is the third time they all heard his voice, they're all very surprised still. As Naruto says, "Now what?" He says, "Use substitution." As he throws a kunai at Naruto, and as soon as it's about to hit Naruto, he uses substitution with he uses substitution with Iruka. As the kunai is about to kill Iruka, I'm gonna say that Mizuki saved Iruka. Actually, no. He he switched with Mizuki, and Mizuki was about to be killed, but Iruka saved him. As it's already an hour. All right, let's wrap this up soon. Anyway, Iruka says that was very dangerous, Naruto. Why would you hinge with a person? As he says, to maximize the potential to kill, obviously. As he walks up to the desk with all the headbands, that he grabs one. Naruto grabs one head. He walks away, and Iruka said, "I didn't say you passed, Naruto." As Naruto turns around, he looks at Iruka, and he just turns around again and walks back. As Iruka is gritting his teeth because he knows that Naruto would have had to been passed because he did everything at full marks, which means he would have had to been passed. As Iruka is the one that controls what Jonin Sensei he gets puts on, so he smiles at this and says, "Alright, you don't want to show me respect? Fine then." As he finishes up the exam, saying for everyone to meet back at the academy in a week. As through this week, Naruto, uh, he signed the dragon summon contract. As we see him in a valley, away from Konoha, like I'm gonna say, pretty far away from Konoha, but still in the land of fire. He summons a dragon, and it's this dragon right here. This is gonna be his personal summon. It's the dragon with the white scales and the little golden bronze type armor that he has on. As he summons, this is the king of the dragons. Considering he summoned him in his first time, the king was impressed and says, "Are you my new summoner?" As Naruto looks at him and says, "Yes, I am." As he says, "Alright, but you can only be my summoner if you survive for the next 24 hours. As the dragon starts shooting fire, lightning, wind, earth, and water at Naruto, and fireballs are raining from the sky. Geysers are appearing all around Naruto. Earth is lifting and being tossed toward Naruto. Lightning is striking down from the sky, and Naruto is dodging, trying to evade the dragon's attacks for 24 hours. As when the 24 hours is up, Naruto is panting, but he has fought Sakuna and Kurama. Kurama has beat Naruto several times, but Naruto's never been able to land a hit on Kurama, and he's never won against Kurama or Sakuna. He's never landed a hit on Sakuna either. But Naruto, he got hit a couple times by this dragon, and he used reverse curse technique. repairing the part where he got killed. Well, the part where he got hit. As the dragon was impressed to see his regenerative power. As he, at the end of the 24 hours, he says, "All right, you are definitely worthy enough to be my next summoner, Uzumaki Naruto." As he disappeared in a column of fire, and Naruto, he goes back to the village. He sleeps out the next 3 days until the team pair up. As he goes back to the academy with his same non-emotional uh, face, as he enters the academy, and Aruka's grinning, so he knows something's going to be up. And when he sits down, Aruka starts explaining the teams. Team 7 is going to be Sasuke Uchiha. And all of the fangirls started to get excited to think it would be one of them. And then he says Sakura Haruno. And before he could say the next person, Sakura screamed in delight. Everybody's ears started bleeding, and they had to wipe their ears. And he said the next person is Kiba Inuzuka. I'm going to say that Team Kurenai is going to have Asuma. It's going to Team Kurenai is going to have Hinata, Shino, and some unnamed ninja. Choji's still going to be on the Ito Shigacho team. That's going to be all the same. Guy, Lee, Tintin, all the same. But he finishes and says that there is one special team that doesn't have 3 members but 1. As Naruto looks at Aruka and he glares at him and says, and in his head he's thinking, he did not put me on a 1-man squad. Well, a 2-man squad, but still. I know as much the next guy that teamwork is very helpful on missions. And he says the one person is Uzumaki Naruto, as Aruka had to dodge a barrage of kunai trying to stab into him. As he says his Jonin Sensei is hold on, one second please. Aruka says his Jonin Sensei is Anko Mitarashi, and that all the Jonin Sensei would be appearing shortly. As he left the class, grinning like a madman, as Naruto's just sitting there seething with rage, as Naruto sees a bunch of Jonin Sensei into the room. Now all the people that's left is him and Team 7, but 2 hours before Kakashi came, his Jonin Sensei came, as she's eating a doggo stick, and she looked around, she saw Naruto, and threw the doggo threw the doggo stick at Naruto. Naruto caught it and threw it back, as she moved out of the way, landing on sticking to the roof, throwing the kunai at him. It did cut his cheek. He dodged it, but Anko still appeared behind him. As Naruto was accounting for this, as the clone that Anko had a kunai pointing toward disappeared in smoke, as she was surprised as she felt a cold steel on the back of her neck, as she says, "You're good, kid." But as she turns around, taking the kunai and pushing him against the wall, and she says, "Not good enough." As she says, "Meet me at the Forest of Death." As she disappears, and Naruto also disappears, everyone is surprised at what they saw. Well, Team 7 is surprised at what they saw. And Sasuke's mad because he thinks that power should be his. And I'm going to say that all of his jutsu he uses some curse power, well, some of his curse energy to make it as they can't be copied by anyone, and especially the Sharingan. And I'm gonna say that Naruto, because of Sakuna, has a natural affinity, well, a very high affinity toward fire, to the point where he can make fire columns just by thinking about it. And Naruto appeared in the Forest of Death right next to Akko, as Akko looked at him in surprise and said, "You know the body flicker?" As he says, "Yes, I do." As she says, "Great, now we just start early." As she sat down and said, in motion for him to do the same. As Naruto says, "What?" As Akko got a bit mad and said, "You're about to find out. Be quiet." As he be quiet, and Akko said, "Explain your dreams, likes, dislikes, what you want to do for the future." As he thinks about it, in this one he didn't really want to be the Hokage. He technically just wants to be the strongest shinobi, as that's what he says. He wants to be the strongest shinobi. As he says, my likes are, well, he doesn't have really likes. He likes trading. He likes two of his friends. As Akko was surprised at this because his finalists say he didn't really make friends. As he says, she puts that away for later. And he says he likes his sword style. As she says, "You know how to use Kenjutsu." As he pulls his sword uh, out of a seal on his back, and it just concealed it. It didn't seal inside like a storage shield or anything. It just concealed it. It was always there. And Naruto looked at her and said, "Yes, I do." As she reaches out for the blade, and Naruto says, "Don't touch it. It kills with one cut." As she scoffs and said, "No, it doesn't. No sword can do that. Not even the best poison can do that." As Naruto raised his eyebrow and he smirks, he got up and saw a little rabbit right next to him. As he cut the rabbit, just a tiny cut, but black marks started to appear all over the rabbit. As the rabbit fell down face first, dying. As she was surprised by the amount of the type of poison that must be in this sword to be able to kill a rabbit with one cut. As she says, "Does the Hokage know about it?" As he says yes. I'm gonna say he told the Hokage about it when the Hokage was using his crystal ball to spy on him. Naruto, after that, increased his security system to where no outside chakra could go into his house. As Naruto looks at Akko and says, "I have many dislikes. Most of them I would rather not say until we're closer." And for some reason, Akko blushed at that, and she shook her head as she says, and she says her likes are Dango, Kurenai. I'm gonna say that the sister of Kiba, what was her name again? I have to look it up. Sister Kiba and Yugao are all friends, and she says she likes hanging out with them. Uh, Naruto in this one is as tall as Anko because he doesn't eat ramen. His hair is the same, has the same amount of. Well, his hair is as spiky as it is in canon, but it's the same shade of hair as Sakuna. And Naruto's just wearing a basic Abu attire, uh, black shinobi pants, black arm guards. He's wearing. He's not wearing gloves. He is wearing sandals. He is wearing a Ambu vest. He also has an Abu mask on top of his head, but he's not wearing it currently. He's only going to wear that when he goes on missions or during like the shooting exams. But that has neither here or there. After they finish their introduction, Akko says, "Meet me back here for a exercise tomorrow." As I think that's where we're gonna leave this off. I hope you like this 1 hour special. I promise to do this. I hope you guys like it. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.